Good morning and welcome to today's UConn Global at Home session, Communicating in Korean 101. My name is Matt Larson and I work for the Office of Global Affairs. I will be facilitating today's session led by Gyujin Kim. Maybe you've seen the recent Academy Award Best Picture winning movie Parasite, or perhaps while swooning over the sweet K-dramas and K-pop lyrics, have you ever thought to yourself, what does that mean? How can I say that? Gyujin Kim, a native Korean and UConn graduate student, is ready to provide a basic class on Korean language this morning.
So my name is Gyujin Kim. I am a first-year master's student studying athletic training, and I was born and raised in South Korea. I did my undergrad, but I spent a year in Florida when I was an undergrad. That was my first experience in America, and I decided to come back for graduate school. So it's been 2 years in total that I spent in the States. And I've noticed that a lot of people are interested in learning Korean, speaking Korean. So I thought this would be a fun activity for everyone if you're interested in. So I want to start with comparing Korean and English first. So Korean and English is both based on, they're both based on alphabet. So Korean language here, it's just like alphabet, it's about the sound. Whereas in Mandarin, in Chinese, it's about the meaning, right? So if I were to write my name in Chinese, it would be something like this. So ugly Chinese, sorry, Chinese students, if anyone's in here. But it means every letter means meaning. It has meaning in Chinese. But in Korean, if I were to write my name in Korean, it would be like that. And it's just like alphabet. It's like I'm writing my name in a box. So if I were to write my name in English, it would be like that. Kim Gyujin, like Gyujin. So that's the major difference. And what else? Yeah, it's based on alphabet and it's very easy to read if you learn how to read the language. And the unique thing about Korean is that this Hangul, Korean alphabet is called Hangul. I wrote it in here. Hangul is Korean alphabet, and it's developed by King Sejong about 500 years ago. Maybe some of you have watched the Netflix show called Kingdom. It's a zombie show. I really recommend it, and it's based on that dynasty. And King Sejong developed Hangul because our language didn't really match with Mandarin, but we had to use Mandarin that time for the letters, but that didn't really represent what we were speaking. So we had to develop the sound so that everybody can use it easily. So that's a little historical background about Korean. And Korean is based on the syllable. Every language is based on syllable, but it's a combination of consonants and vowels, consonants and vowels. So I think I will explain it later when I explain the language. And the grammar is a big difference between Korean and English again. So let's say I'm looking for used cars right now, and let's say that I want to buy a car, then I'll say, I buy a car, something like, very simple sentence. But in Korean, it would be 나는 차를 산다. And 나는 is the subject, it would be I, and the car comes here in the middle, and the verb buying goes at the back. So the grammar structure is different from English. And one really interesting thing about Korean is that we don't have that like female word or male word like in French or German, I think, but we have formal way and informal way to speak Korean. So let's say formal way, you speak Korean in formal way when you speak to strangers, but between friends and family and with close people, you will use informal way. And the grammar structure changes a bit, the noun changes a bit, and you gotta add some more components in your sentence to speak in an informal way. So informal way is shorter and easier. So let's say if I want to say hi to everyone, I will say 안녕. 안녕 is how we say hi in Korean, but in formal way, it would be 안녕. Same word, but I should add 안녕하세요. 하세요. This is what we add after nouns and what we say to make it formal. Or easier way, you can just say yo. It depends on what you want to say. So let's say if I want to say I like it, then it'll be 좋아. You say it as 좋아, like that. And to say it in formal way, you want to add 좋아, 요. You add yo after that. Then it's the formal way that you say it. So remember to add yo after what you want to say. If you want to say in formal way, then people will, even if it's wrong, people will understand that you are trying to be polite and trying to say in formal way. So that was that. Any questions so far? Okay, I'll take that as no. And let's read Korean. It'll be super easy. So for the consonants part, let's start with this one. And it looks like a gun, right? A gun. And it starts with G. Gun start with G. So it has that good sound. Good sound. So like the gun, it has G, good sound. And the next one would be this one. It looks like nose, right? Just follow my instruction here. It looks like nose. It starts with N, so it has that N sound, and sound. And next one, this square, this one, it looks like a mouth, right? Like square mouth, like a mouth. So it starts with M, and it has that M sound. So let me draw a face really quick. It'll feel like, yay, it'll feel like that. Nose, it looks like this one here, nose, and square mouth sound. And I want to move to this one. This circle, it's like zero, nothing, right? So when it comes in front of the syllable, then it has no sound. But when it comes at the end of the sound, then it has that ing sound, like nothing, ing, nothing sound. So let's try to read this word here. If I were to break it down as you write in English, it would be like that, right? And this first letter here, it looks like a gun. So it starts with G, gun. So it has the G sound, G sound. And oh, I missed the vowel. Vowel here, let's go back to here, this section. And this E sound, it's E sound, it looks like stick, or it looks like stick, I, stick. So it has that E sound, or for some people, it will look like tree, E sound. So this letter represents E sound. And when you add a line after that, after this one, after starts with A, so it has that ah sound. So this letter represents ah sound. So here, let's go back to this side. Then there's a stick right here, and a line after that. So it has a ah sound. So until here, it'll be ga. And the circle, it's nothing, but it comes at the end, nothing. Then it has that ing sound. So for here, it'll be like kang. So this letter, this one, you can read it as kang. Gone and ah and nothing. So kang. And after that, this letter, it looks like nose, right? Nose. Then it starts with N. And the same letter here, there's a stick and a line after that, then that's after. So a, ah sound. And this square looks like mouth. So mouth, it starts with M, so it has M sound. So Gangnam, this letter represents Gangnam, like Gangnam Style. That song was really popular like 10 years ago, I think. So you can read this letter as Gangnam. Is everybody following me? I can't see the discussion or anything. Any opinions so far? Matthew, are you following me?
For the,
Gangnam.
for the questions, we have people asking what is the meaning of the word and why is it Gangnam?
Okay, so Gangnam, it means It's a like a really rich town in South Korea, in Seoul. Seoul is the capital in South Korea, and Gangnam is part of Seoul. And Gang itself, actually, Gang means river, and Nam means south. So if I were to draw Seoul, this is Seoul, and there's a river called Hangang. Gang means river, and this town is like about here, the south of the river. So it's Gangnam. And that's why it's called Gangnam. And the reason why we read it like that, um, Gang. What was the question again? What it means and
And it sounds like a K instead of a G. Is it just a harder pronunciation?
oh, yeah. So this sound, this letter is called kiok in Korean. G. It can sound as G or K, but it's close to this G sound. Gangnam, Gangnam. I think we don't in English there's no perfect kiok sound, this g sound. It's like but it's close to like Google, when you say Google, it has that it's close to G, but it can sound like it's close to K. But K would be G would represent this gun sound, kiok sound, g, but K would represent k. There's one more line that we add here to represent k sound. So it could be confusing, but this letter that looks like a gun, it's closer to G rather than K. But it could be like confusing. Like for my last name is Kim, but for some reason, when American people first heard this name, they change it the sound as Kim, not Kim. Or maybe it's because G sound could be like it can be G, depends on where it is in English. So maybe Kim would be clear, but it's close to G sound. It's Kim, not Kim. And it also means seaweed. um yeah. Was that a enough answer for whoever asked the question? Hopefully. I'll go back to here after. We will keep pronouncing this kiok sound, the g sound later on. Okay, and I think we can try other words too. So this is the consonants part and the vowel part, and this was the example. And let's see, how about this one? This letter right here. And it has a line and another line underneath it, right? Below it, under, and it starts with U, like oo sound. So this, if there's a line and another line underneath it like that, it represents oo sound, like woo sound. And maybe you can think of it as like you thumb down, looks pretty similar. It's like woo, you make the sound when you discourage something. Then it's like woo sound. So let's go back to this word here. Again, square is like mouth, right? Then it has that M sound, and there's a stick or tree, E sound. So it represents the E sound. And again, this one, the g sound, it's close to G. And then this one is the one that we just learned. There's a line and another line like this. Woo. So it has woo sound. That's this one. Um, and another one. Oops. Yeah. And there's one more gun here. Then it's G. So it ended with, I will explain this part again later. But for this one, we were learning this word, which could be written as you can break down like that. And square is like mouse, M sound, E stick, it has the E sound, and gun, G, and line, and another line like woo, and that's woo sound, and another gun. Then if you read it, it would be like miku, 미국. And 미국 means USA. I think it's 美国 in Chinese. It means beautiful country. And yeah, this is how we say America, United States. 미국. I think it was easier than Gangnam, but any questions about 미국? Okay. I will explain this part now. So when we translate Korean sound in English, like someone asked, 기억 sound, this gu, this letter can be really confusing. And when it comes at the end of the letter, sometimes we, like officially when we translate Korean sound in English letter, then we might use these words at the end of a sound of the sound. But when it comes at in the front of the sound, like Gangnam or Cook, then it's G. It's not K sound like Korea or yeah, it's more close to G, G sound, not K sound. So hopefully that helped. Any questions so far?
So to reiterate, at the beginning, it's kind of almost like a harder G, like a
Mm-hmm.
not quite a K, but still a bit harsher than a G. And then at the end, it's softer, and is it almost silent?
No, it's the same sound. Like,
Okay.
can you pronounce cook, Matthew?
Cook.
Cook. Yeah, that's
Okay.
pretty much the same. Me cook. So every word represents sound, but not every Korean sound is not in English, so we can't perfectly explain or change it to English sound by using alphabet. But hopefully, I will use. There's a more example that represents that good sound, this word. So maybe you will get better idea about it, right? So moving on to another one. More consonants to learn here. So this one, it looks like um, so this letter, it might look different, but this one is same as this one. And it looks somewhat close to J, right? Let's say that it's close, J, or we can remember it. It has that Z sound, J sound. Like my name, my the last sound of my name, I write it like that, and it's change it as Jin in Korean, in English, right? So this word, this letter represents J. And we already learned this one. And this letter looks like a bucket, right? Let's say that it is. Imagine it looking close. So it looks like a bucket. Bucket starts with B, so it has that b sound. So going back to all the consonants we've learned so far, um, this letter g, this letter looks like a gun, so g sound g. And this one, the second one, it looks like nose. Nose starts with n, so it has n sound, like when you say no and. And next one, third one, the square one. Square looks like mouth, so it starts with m and it has m sound, like 미국 m. And the new one here, this one looks like J, so it has that z sound. It's different from this one, jet. It's not z, it's z. It could be confusing. Um, yeah, you let's practice with the examples later. And for the square one, it's like 0, 0, nothing. So when it comes in front of the sound, it has no sound, nothing. But when it comes at the end of a sound, then it's ing, nothing, ing sound. And the last one, it looks like a bucket. Bucket starts with B, B, so it has that b sound, b sound. So this example was trying to like match, trying to help you remember how it sounds. And for the vowel part here, the stick, it looks like a stick, ik. So it has that e sound, And when there is a line after that, after it starts with A, so it has that ah sound. And when there is a line, this is a new one, I will use different color. When there is a line and another line in front of it, ahead of it, then it has that ah sound, like ahead, ah sound, ah. Or it could be like written as this letter when we transit the sound in English, but it has that sound because there's something ahead of it, sound. And for this one, there is a line and there's something on the top of it, right? Above. So it has that O sound. And when there is a line and line underneath it, under ooh, then it has ooh sound. So it's ooh, and it's this one, this letter represents oo sound, and this letter represents o sound. And next one is it's a combination of the vowels, but when there is a vowel and a stick and a line in between, it looks like H, right? Or you can look like arrow, H, arrow. It has that a sound, like H. When we say H, a sound. Does it make sense so far? As we practice, it'll be easier to understand. So, hmm, let's start with this one. So there's a lot of buckets here. When we break down this word, like in English, in a one line, it'll be this, this, this. And when we write it in a full like square way, then it'll look like that. So starting with this one, I'm gonna hide the right answer. So look in the right corner of the page of the screen. Then this one, it looks like what? Anyone? This letter look like a bucket, and bucket starts with B. So it has that B sound right here. And for the next one, it has a stick and a line after that. So it has that ah sound after ah sound. And next one, it has the same bucket. Bucket is B. So it has that B sound. And next one, there's line and line above, another line up there above. So it has the O sound. So when you say it, it'll be 바보. And 바보 means like silly, stupid. So you can use it to people who's silly and stupid. 바보. Pretty easy, right? Um, and next one, I'll go with this word right here. So if I were to break down this word in a one low, not in this box shape, then it would be like this, right? This was the first letter, and this part is this one here. And oh, I didn't explain this letter. Let's say this one, this letter looks like a door, maybe a door, and door starts with D, so it has that D sound. I'm gonna write it big. D sound. It's D. It's not O, it's D. I'll say D. Yeah, and this letter that looks like H, it has that A sound. A sound. And the bucket, right? It looks like a bucket. Next letter, so B. And another one, it has stick and another line after that, so it has that a sound, ah sound. And this guy, it looks like a gun, so it has that G sound, but at the end again it could sounds like strong K, so like that. So if I were to read it together, it would be 대박, 대박. And this is like a really good reaction word. If you were to take away just one word from this class, remember 대박, this one. And whatever the Korean people say, just say 대박, 대박, and then they will like it. Because it means it's great. It's great. Like really, it's like that reaction word. Whatever people say, if you can just say whatever the meaning is, you can say, really? That's great. Wow, that's unexpected. And it means 대박 means that. So yeah, that could be one good example. Let's move on to the one that's on the top here. Oops, 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 oops. No, come back. Yeah. Um, this letter. So this guy, it looks like J, right? J. So it has the J sound. And next one, it has line and another line above it at the top, above O. So it has that O sound. Yeah. Oh, I think I write it wrong when I break it down. Oops. Sorry. It's not O, it's N. Well, let me write it down somewhere else. So the word that we were trying to say was this one, right? And if we were to break it down, then it would be, oops, it would be like this, right? And this one, this letter looks like J. So J and line and another line at the top, then it means that it has O sound, O sound. And this word, it looks like nose, nose, and so it has that N sound. And same letter that looks like J, so it has that J sound. And next one is like H, H, A sound. So it could turn as this letter as a vowel, A, A here. And the square, it looks like mouth. It starts with M. So it has the M sound. So if you were to pronounce it, it would be like 존잼, 존잼. And 존잼 means that it's really funny, super funny, freaking hilarious. So this could be a really good reaction word as well. And I think when I made this handout, I made a mistake. My apology. It's not, forget about this part. And it has M next to that. And it'll be, when I break it down, it'll be like this. Oh shit, I keep mixing Korean alphabet and English alphabet. So it was the first part. For this one, um, so there's a nothing and lines above. Then if you can stand up on nothing, that'll be, it's like a hero, let's say. It has the H sound. If you can stand up on nothing, then you're a hero. So it has the H sound, who sound, like H here. And line and another line in front of it, ahead of it, so it has that sound. And this last letter, it looks like a rattlesnake, right? Rattlesnake. So it has that R sound, or R or L. Lu sound, so it ends with R. So this word actually, if I were to say it, it would be like that. And the pronunciation is pretty similar with her, right? It's pretty much the same. It's her, her. And her means something, you say that when there's something really bad that happened. And you say it really long way, like her, then it means, doesn't mean her like it is in Korean. It doesn't mean a woman. It means that something bad happened. Her. Or something really surprising. It could be a good one, but something that you were not expecting. So this would be the first part about how to pronounce and how to read Korean letters. Any questions so far? Anyone?
Uh, we do have a question. Someone asked, some words are bigger than others in the boxes. Is there a reason for that? Or
Some words are bigger.
yeah, for example, like the last word that you said looks a little small. Is there a reason for the different um, sizes? And then someone asked also about pronunciation, like B's sometimes can sound like P's, or D's can sometimes sound like T's. Is that also something to
Yeah,
keep in mind?
yeah, I will explain that part. So I think the letter size, um, if you were to write Korean, right, we write it in a box. So let's say I will use this 3 by 3 boxes here. And to put all the words and to write it in neat way, clearly, then you want to keep the same language size. So if you want to write, which one was smaller here? Maybe her. Maybe you gotta squeeze the size of it to write it better. So to write her, it would be like her, but there's a certain ratio that you gotta write Korean. So it's hard to explain. Wow, I didn't know that it's gonna be a good question. Um, so you could either write it like that, right? It's all same thing, or you can write it like that. But there is a little simple, there is a rule about how to write and how to squeeze all the word in perfect ratio. And I think that's why it could look like the size of the word is changing, but it's just to squeeze in a same box and same size, but it doesn't change sound or meaning or anything like that. So that was the answer. And for the b and d sound, this bucket and the door sound, I said, I explained it as it looks like a bucket, so it has the b sound, and it looks like door, right? You open and close the door, so it has the d sound in front of it, d. But the word itself, it could sound like P, or D could sound like T, D, T, but this word itself represents B, and this letter represents D. So one of the most confusing part, the hardest part about pronouncing Korean is the difference between B and P and P and D, D, T, Z, 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 G, G, K. So all these letters that I wrote right here, it it represents different sound. But for a lot of American people, since you don't really differentiate this sound, it could be really confusing. So this sound here, b, it represents like pure b sound, and b, b, it's stronger, and it represents like b, p, p, I guess. I can't think of right example in English for this word b sound, b. And this letter, it represents p, like pure p, p sound. And b and p sound, it could be confusing because it depends on how strong you pronounce it, I think. And for d sound, d sound, it represents the pure d sound. But when it's doubled, then it's like d d d sound. Like when you say tortilla or something like that, d sound. And when there's a line between that, it represents t sound. And d d t. It sounds all the same, and it could be confusing, I understand. But the letter that we write to write this sound in letters, it looks like that, and it could be confusing. I'm sorry, I can't find a better way to explain it. And next one's to be, like I said, it looks like J and Z. When it's doubled, then it's like stronger sound, Z, Z. And when there's a something above it, then it's more like ch, ch sound, like you choose, choice, that ch sound. And this one, again, it was the g, gun sound, but when it's doubled like that, then it means, um, it could be like gg, g, g sound. Yeah. And this one would be closer to k sound. So in like linguistic theory, this sounds fall into different categories, but sounds similar, but it represents different sound. So hopefully that was an answer. And it's already 11:40. Wow, I thought we could like do more. But any other questions? Okay. Um so these were the examples about how to pronounce some basic communication word. How we say I like it, I don't like it, no, this kind of word, and some more reaction word, how we say greetings. Think I Yeah. And I noticed another mistake over here. Bottoms up, it means cheers. I don't know why I say greetings, but this word, um, I just explained this double sound. It has the z sound, stronger j, stronger z sound. Then it has line. Let's say, let's try this one. There's a line. There's a line and another line after that. A sound. So it has that a pronunciation, and N, nose. This word looks like nose, so it starts with N. So it has the 짠, 짠. So you can read this word as 짠. And that's when we say like bottoms up, cheers, when we like cheer. So that's one example. And I prepared this one. This was a recast about the Parasite doorbell song. Think we have a time to review this one because this one was a request. How about how to pronounce this one? So I don't want to spoil anything about the movie. Let's just speak about this one. The girl character's fake name was Jessica, and this is how we write Jessica here. In English, and it has the same sound like Jessica, but we pronounce it as just simply Jessica, not Jessica. We don't have that American accent because we wrote it in Korean way, so it's Jessica, and it's written as 외동딸, 외동딸. I will just write in Korean the pronunciation of this word over here. So it could be 왜. I know we didn't go over all the consonants and vowels here, but it'll be 외동딸. Illinois is the same thing. Chicago is Chicago. It's the same thing. And this word, it will come later, and it looks like a ski position on the leg. So it has that S sound. So Chicago. I know it's Chicago, but we don't have that she sound in Korean. So it was just a simple S, Chicago. And 과선배는, this word you can pronounce this part as 과선배는. And next is 김진모. 그는 네 사촌. Let's start with 과선배는. So this one, it looks like a gun, right? So G sound. And this word you can write as 과, and 선, 배는. And 김진모, it's someone's name, Jinmo Kim. So we write the last name in the front of the name in Korean, and 그는 would be something like 그는, 그는, and it would be 니 사촌. So the doorbell song goes like 제시카 외동딸 일리노이 시카고 과선배는 김진모 그는 네 사촌. I think that was a bit too quick, but this was based on the song that every Korean people knows because we learned this in elementary school. It's about this island that we are having some territory issue with Japan, and we want to claim that it's Korean territory. So the government made this song and make everyone learn this song. So everyone knows this rhythm, and I think that's why that the movie used this song's rhythm because it's really catchy and everybody will remember. And the character wanted to remember these words for her role. So this is how that song came, and it'll be word by word, Jessica, 외동딸, 일리노이, 시카고, 과선배는 김진모, 그는 네 사촌. So it'll be Jessica, 외동딸, 일리노이, 시카고, 과선배는 김진모, 그는 네 사촌. Something like that. Yeah. Um, I wanted to go over the words here, but it took way more time than I expected to explain how to read Korean. So I think it could be fun homework if you Google it. You will find how to pronounce these words, and this is like real Korean words that Korean people really use when they communicate, like real reaction words, and yeah, everyday words that we use. And fun words was here. Shooting star in Korean is pooping star. We write it as pooping star, and I thought it was always just fun. Like my ancestors thought that shooting stars were pooping in the sky. So that was a fun one. And for firework, um, the way we write firework is fire play, not the work. So I thought that was fun. Another interesting part as well. What else? And at the back, try to explain all the pronouns here. So you could use it next time when you try to read Korean. And yeah, any questions? I think we're running out of time right now. I'll stop sharing for now.
So we have a question. Do you have different tenses in Korean?
Tenses like past tense and future tense?
Correct.
Yes, we do. We do. Um, I don't know how to explain it. Wait, let me go to the chatting session right here. We do have a past, future, and that all the all the different timeline tenses. And the grammar changes when we do that. It's another level. I can't explain it in this session, but we change the grammar structure, and the nouns will change the same. The verb. There is a basic. I think it's better to share my screen again because not everyone can see my face, right? So let's say this one would be I will go to sleep. And this one would be I slept. And this letter here, maybe you were able to read it. It's cha. And this letter here, the basic verb, it represents sleep. And we change the word that comes after to change the tenses. So that was the answer. Another question?
Thank you again, Gyujin, really so much for leading this wonderful session. And definitely seems like some people are really interested in following up with you about um, learning more Korean. So again, thank you. And thank you to all who participated in this UConn Global at Home session. Uh, UConn Global at Home is proud to continue to keep you connected with your global community from the safety of your home. And in order to continue to do so, we'd like to hear from you. What does being global at home mean to you? If you want to send us videos or pictures of things that you're doing at home that showcase you being globally connected, you can email them to global@uconn.edu or use hashtag UConnGlobalAtHome and tag at UConn_global on Instagram to be featured on our site. And please keep an eye out for a survey in your inbox as well. Your feedback, sorry, clearly it's Friday, is highly valued and appreciated in order to keep our sessions running. So stay healthy and safe, Huskies, and thank you so much again for everything.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.